Hey everyone, this is Sperry, and my video today should not be really very controversial, honestly. I think most of my subscribers actually have a similar opinion to mine on this issue, but I still wanted to make this video because I think it is something worth mentioning, and it should be pretty short and quick. I don't have a lot of energy, so I wanted to make a little bit shorter of a rant today. What I'm going to talk about is the idea that I think it is counterproductive and a bad idea to unite players who are really just screwing up in the cog battle, especially if you're in the VP, CFO, or CEO. The only reason I could see justifying the Unite and the CJ is if you don't have bonus weight and it's just not possible to survive if the people on your team go sad and you don't want to start over and get a new run. I would honestly probably just get a new run if that happened to me, but anyways, on point. The idea behind this is that for the VP, CFO, and CEO, if you're skilled enough, you don't need to rely on your teammates. Them being alive means nothing to your success. And the two reasons why I don't think you should unite your teammates, first of all, the first one is I don't know how many of you heard this phrase before. I'm sure almost all of you have. If you teach a man to fish, he'll be able to fish forever. And if you give a man a fish, he can eat a fish for a day. That's not exactly how the saying goes. I'm tired, so sorry, I kind of screwed that up. But essentially, when you unite people, it's not really actually going to teach them anything. They're going to survive, which is great. They'll get a reward. Okay, whoop de doo. But it will not make them better at the game. So if you actually want to make a difference and make these players play better, try to actually teach them how to fight the boss and how to dodge attacks. And I would never go through that trouble myself, but let's just say you're altruistic and you actually want to help these players out. You're much better off teaching them how to play than uniting them. And if you unite them, you damn better at least teach them how to play so they don't end up going into every battle expecting and needing a unite, because when you get into this complacent attitude of, oh, I'm low, I'm going to get a unite from my group, that's toxic to the player's development and progression in getting better at the game. I think it's very important to learn how to play the game properly, and I think it's most efficient to do that by actually teaching people the game instead of saving them when they make mistakes. So what I would say is that you really just, the biggest reason why you shouldn't unite people is you're just wasting your reward. It doesn't do your group any good. It doesn't do the players you're uniting any good in the long run. It's just a waste. The times you should be using your unites are, first of all, if you're in personal danger, like let's say you're just having a bad run, you're tired, you need to save yourself, you should use the unite. Second of all, if you're playing with a new friend who you care about, somebody you care about on your friends list, somebody you know in person and they're struggling, you should unite them. So the times you should be uniting people are when they're people you actually care about, you have interpersonal connections to, and maybe they're running two tunes, they're struggling, they're having a bad day, they're new to the game, or when you're struggling. Save your nights for those situations that actually matter. Don't waste them on random tunes just because those random tunes are struggling. That, to me, that's just a very dumb way to use the. Oh shoot! Oops! I accidentally hit Siri. I'm sorry about that, guys. But yeah. Anyways, that's just a very short video. I have a little bit of footage here to kind of prove my point. If you see this CEO, every single person in the CEO was just getting annihilated. I got hit twice in the CEO, and that is because there were platoons behind me taking snacks. I could have still dodged the gears, but I didn't realize that they were taking snacks behind me because I had my sound off. If my sound was on, I could have, gotten off the table and gone to the side, and I would have been fine. But so really, the only reason these twins lived is because people spammed unites, which is great. Okay, they got the reward. That's great. The people who used the reward were also in danger, so I understand why they used the unites, but I would never unite them. I had like 5 max unites. I had absolutely not even the slightest intention of uniting those tunes because I didn't need them to survive for my own survival of the run, and uniting them is not going to teach them how to play the game better. So I think when you're actually looking at something like using a tune-up unite, it is not the altruistic play to unite tunes without teaching them how to play the game. If you want to actually make people better at the game, you need to teach them how to play, teach them how to dodge the attacks. It probably takes about 15 seconds to explain to somebody how to dodge everything in the CEO. All you have to do is just move when he uses 4. You have to have your hand on the button. When he turns to look at you, or even just turns in your general direction, you click off in case he's throwing gears. And you just have to be moving when he uses his 4. That's literally it. If you have a middle table, you need to make sure that when you get off, that you're not running into a path where the gears from somebody behind you are going to hit you. and you need to make sure you're not going to get run over or drove in like a drive-by. So you have a little bit more to think about, but really the mechanics behind that battle are super easy. For CFO, you just need to learn how, well, CFO and VP, you should never be dying. CJ, you need to learn how to step back and jump over the bonus weight, or sorry, step back and jump over the evidence as you see it coming at you. You just have to pay attention to as you see the evidence flying at you, and you need to learn the gavel pathings for all the different bonus weight levels. And all the stuff that it takes to learn all this shit is super easy, and you could easily explain it to the tunes instead of uniting them. And I think that, honestly, it's just one of those things where kindness is not always the answer to what is best for people's development. I think that the experience of going sad is also more likely to make a tune really think about how to play the game better. Like, I remember a long time ago, right? And I'm serious about this. When I was very new to the game, this was like 6 years ago at least. I'd still played the game for a while, but I was really bad at the CEO. I did my first CEO in my tune Boring Blue Dog, and I used like 3 max unites. Every single person in the CEO except for me died, and then I tried to solo him, and I eventually just ended up dying. And it devastated me. And what I did that day was it motivated me to go and watch a bunch of players do the CEO, read a bunch of guides, and after that, I really learned actually how to play the boss, and I almost never got hit again after that. So I think for a lot of people, it, I just don't think the idea of uniting is good because it creates this idea of when you live in a boss, you feel like you're doing something right. And sometimes you're not. Everybody screws up. Even in a game like Toontown, there is still a small learning curve. It's not a hard learning curve, but you need to propel people through that. So that's really all I wanted to say. Hopefully you found the footage in the background a bit interesting. All the tunes ended up living in this run. It was probably the worst TTR CEO I've done, even though everybody lived, just because I really felt like a lot of the people in here just didn't really know what they were doing, and it really just felt like universally everybody was just getting clobbered and slaughtered in the CEO round, which should never happen. It's not a hard round at all. So that's just a little side note. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll have another video for you guys tomorrow. Hope you're having a great day, and goodbye.